One of the roles of universities since they were first founded over 400 years ago is to generate knowledge, and it has to be knowledge for purpose. Part of the knowledge for purpose equation is to say, well, what are the key purposes that are important to this university? And this university is special. It's the only university in the state of Tasmania. It's a university that is distinguished by being present across Tasmania, and therefore our engagement is about connecting with the things that are of interest or importance to Tasmania, and then using the excitement and the stimulation that comes from that connection to drive our research agenda. And so we must ask questions that will enrich the capability of industries or our communities and our public. So engagement is really the thread that stimulates high quality research, makes sure that we frame the questions in a way that is relevant to those who can make best use of the outcomes, and that we have mechanisms for ensuring that research outputs are translated into viable outcomes in the most effective way.
Timber that's underwater doesn't rot, and we knew that there was a constrained supply of specialty timbers in Tasmania. It's first in Australia, so we're actually harvesting standing timber that has been inundated by a hydroelectric scheme. This timber's been underwater for about 30 years. The timber itself is 200, 300, 400 years old, and we're actually pulling out Huon pine now that are over 1,000 years old. We started doing a feasibility study, which involved both the university and the Department of State Growth, and we went out and assessed 5 lakes. We pulled timber out of those lakes and had it tested at the uni with the Centre for Sustainable Architecture with wood. The uni's becoming a bit of a go-to. Whenever we've got a problem, we can go to them and say, look, who do I need to talk to? It made it really easy to get something set up. To be able to take a complex and highly innovative project and actually execute it, it's a validation that we as a business can take on complex projects and see them through to fruition.
We're the builders of high-speed vehicle passenger ferries, a large, well-known Tasmanian company, and with a fairly well-known expertise. We've had a really good relationship for many years with the university. My father's obviously the inventor of this type of technology, but he's not a naval architect, so it's been instrumental to have them involved in helping us understand why the boats actually do what they do, why it reacts in the way it reacts. They help us during our sea trials to actually interpret how the boat's being used. Research into how our water jets work, or the trim tabs, or some of our functionality about the boat, but primarily in our hull design. They work together with our designers, making the customers as comfortable as they can. From our perspective, it's been very easy. We've had this relationship for 30 plus years and have been really excited to be on board.
Operating in any business, in any sector, in any location is challenging. You've got competitors, you've got a whole range of forces that you need to deal with. If you can get the edge through having a better understanding of the place that you're operating in, of your customers, of the environment in which you're operating, that's going to place you best for future success. We've always known a little bit about our visitors, but we haven't got down to the really fine-grained information. The university, through Sense-T, clearly had the capability to provide insights that are really critical for industry and for government to make decisions. This sort of information is going to allow us as a state to probably understand our visitors better than anywhere else in the world. We think this is a really exciting project, and one that, to be frank, will give Tasmania a jump on its competitors.
The DHHS has a long history of research partnerships with the University of Tasmania for every function that we deliver, from health through to disability services, public housing and child protection. It's preferable for us to use UTAS, not just because of the expertise that they've got that the department doesn't have, but also because they are local, they're familiar, and they actually understand the Tasmanian environment and population. We've been able to solve some riddles which we've been confounded by for decades focused on clinical service redesign, which neither the health service nor the department have ever been able to put together, and has begun a process of significant improvement of the Tasmanian health service. I would recommend any industry in Tasmania discussing their vision and their aspirations with the university.
Life Site Catalyst is about engaging with Tribunna, using art and creative practice as a way of reinvigorating the community, but working with the community since the shutting down of the mill to tap into what's very strong here and to accentuate it.
It's important that as a community we work together to find a positive way forward, a positive way into a future that was sustainable. And the different things that are now coming available in our community give us the hope that that's going to be the case. Learning and living is about opportunities and experiences, and you don't know what you don't know. And it's really important that we give our kids an opportunity to see what else is out there, that Tribunna is only a part of the world, it's not the world. And it gives us an opportunity to be able to expose our kids to future career pathways that are not even within their realm of possibility at this point in time. So every opportunity we get to be able to broaden their experience is taken up and embraced. And it's through the kids participating in those that we share those experiences with their parents.
We've got a really close-knit community of farmers, and they're all looking to us for the next thing and the next area of research and development into how to improve their businesses. The industry as a whole now is looking at this big data, is looking at how they can extract more value from what they've got. It will pretty much touch most beef producers in the state of Tasmania. They'll know exactly when we want cattle, what specifications, the pricing, and they can tailor their business around hitting those markets. They'll also have a lot of data on the past performances, so if they're not hitting specific targets, they'll quite easily be able to go back and understand why they're not hitting those targets. Our business is considered quite progressive as far as marketing and being able to produce a high quality product. So I think that this project just adds to that and makes sure that we are staying ahead of all of our competitors in a very, very competitive market. It's been great. I can really see it will be a multi-generational benefit.
One of the key reasons why the Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture is so important for our Tasmanian wine producers is because the climate we have here in Tasmania is markedly different from wine regions elsewhere in Australia. For us to actually be able to have targeted research practically delivered with a focus on outcomes specific to our cool climate, it's critical. Right now is a time when the Tasmanian wine sector is growing quite significantly. Being in agriculture and certainly viticulture, we need to take a long-term view of the world. So we go through a process annually to look at our longer-term strategy and talk with the Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture around those priorities and identify where we've got mutual strengths to actually achieve real outcomes. The risks we have in Tasmania are quite high in terms of grape growing, and so we've approached this, if you like, as almost a risk minimisation project. But naturally, a lot of our producers are very experimental and certainly focused on innovation, and the collaboration with TIA allows us to formalise some of that, and we can see the benefits.
Our sole purpose is to ensure the maritime platforms are operated safely and managed effectively. That encompasses a significant amount of R&D and challenges, and it's too big for us to just do on our own. We hope to give the best scientific advice to the Department of Defence, and we believe that the University of Tasmania and AMC have scientific excellence. The experimental facilities down at the Australian Maritime College are unique within Australia. We've got undergraduate students working on projects, PhD students working here, and we have several postdocs that are employed here and down at AMC. It's really the innovation that will give us the capability edge over our adversaries in the future. It's only by excellent R&D can you ensure that we are a safe nation. And I hope UTAS will be a key partner in that.
Innovation is fundamental to any organisation's future. We don't have all the expertise. We don't have the exclusive knowledge, and there's this fantastic analytical and innovation resource spread around the state in various locations, full of people that are plugged into the best available information, in many cases doing world-leading research, and that's been absolutely essential to informing policy decisions by governments going forward. And from a business perspective, there's a fantastic opportunity to work with graduates, to work with postgrads, to ask those really difficult questions that you're not able to answer yourself, but you know the answer is going to be fundamental to your business's success going forward. So it's really a win-win. You should pick up the phone, call the faculty that looks like the most obvious place, or call the team that works in the Vice-Chancellor responsible for research's area and just ask the question and they'll point you in the right direction. Continuing to invest in your people, in your processes, in your products, applying new technology, applying new ideas to do business differently, to create an advantage, to become more efficient. The evidence is incontestable that innovation is the key to future success.
Partnerships at all different stages are massively important to university. They frame the research questions that we explore. They stimulate the right kind of research questions. And I think the evidence that we're really good at that is that we hold the record for the greatest number of industry-funded training centres, both by the value of money awarded and the number of training centres that have been approved for us to host. They go from innovation in wood products to marine engineering, through to horticulture, and out all the way to how to grow lobsters. They're very much linked to the things that are of great importance here in Tasmania, but each one of those things is actually part of a global question about food security, environmental sustainability, protection and value of Antarctica and the Southern Ocean, better health, and actually what does society and culture look like in the 21st century? What is that and how do we contribute to it? How do you use big data? How do you make decisions informed by evidence? All of those research projects are linked to us working very closely with industry on shared problems that are of local significance but have global impact.